The year is roughly 3100 BC. This marks the beginning of one of the most fascinating and enduring civilizations in human history. Imagine the Nile River, a ribbon of life flowing through the desert. Its waters bring fertility and sustenance to the land, transforming the arid landscape into a thriving oasis. Along its banks, a great civilization takes root. Small settlements begin to appear, each one a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. These are the ancient Egyptians. They are a people of great resourcefulness and creativity, laying the foundations for a society that will influence the world for millennia. They farm the fertile land, build villages and worship gods. Their lives are deeply intertwined with the rhythms of the Nile, which dictates their agricultural cycles and spiritual practices. This is the dawn of their story. As the sun rises over the Nile, it heralds the beginning of an era of unprecedented cultural and technological development. These early Egyptians develop a unique culture. Their society is characterized by a deep reverence for nature and the divine, which is reflected in their art, architecture, and daily life. They invent hieroglyphs, a system of picture writing. This revolutionary form of communication allows them to record their history, beliefs, and achievements for future generations. They create stunning pottery and jewelry. These artifacts are not only beautiful, but also serve as symbols of their craftsmanship and artistic expression. Leaders emerge, uniting villages into a strong kingdom. These rulers are both warriors and visionaries, guiding their people through times of prosperity and challenge. The stage is set for greatness. The early Egyptians lay the groundwork for a civilization that will achieve remarkable feats in architecture, science, and government. We call this era the early dynastic period. It is a time of consolidation and innovation, where the seeds of future greatness are sown. It lasts for centuries, a time of innovation and growth. During this period, the Egyptians developed new techniques in agriculture, construction, and administration, setting the stage for their future achievements. Around 2686 BC, a new chapter begins, the Old Kingdom. This era is often referred to as the Age of the Pyramids due to the monumental structure that define it. This is when Egypt's power and glory truly shine. The pharaohs of the Old Kingdom are remembered for their ambitious building projects and the centralization of power. The Age of Pyramids is about to begin. These colossal structures are not only tombs for the pharaohs, but also symbols of the technological and organizational prowess of ancient Egypt. As we journey through the sands of time, we will uncover the secrets of this magnificent civilization, exploring the lives of the people who built one of the greatest empires the world has ever known. The Old Kingdom is a time of wealth and stability. Pharaohs rule as gods on earth. They command vast resources, labor, and devotion, their ambition to build monuments that will last for eternity. The pyramids are not just tombs, they are symbols of power and religious belief. The most famous, the Great Pyramid of Giza, is an architectural marvel. It took decades and thousands of workers to build. Inside these massive structures, pharaohs are buried with treasures. They believe these possessions will help them in the afterlife. The pyramids stand as testaments to the ingenuity and organization of the ancient Egyptians. After centuries of prosperity, the Old Kingdom collapses. Egypt enters a period of instability and conflict. This is the first intermediate period, a time of turmoil and change, but Egypt is resilient. Around 2055 BC, a new dynasty emerges from the chaos. This marks the beginning of the Middle Kingdom. Pharaohs reunite the land and restore order. The Middle Kingdom is a time of expansion and cultural flowering. Egypt conquers new territories. Art and literature flourish. The Egyptians develop new technologies like bronze working, yet their world is about to be shaken once more. Section 4. The Empire Strikes Back. A new kingdom rises. In the annals of history, few civilizations have experienced the dramatic ebbs and flows that Egypt has. From the grandeur of the Old Kingdom to the turmoil of the intermediate periods, Egypt's story is one of resilience and rebirth. Another period of upheaval grips Egypt. The once unified land finds itself fractured and vulnerable. The Hyksos, a foreign people from the northeast, seized this opportunity to invade and conquer the northern regions of Egypt. Foreign invaders, the Hyksos, conquer the north. They bring with them advanced weaponry and chariotry which the Egyptians had never seen before. The Hyksos rule with an iron fist, but they also introduce new technologies and ideas that will later benefit Egypt. They rule for over a century, introducing new technologies and ideas. The Hyksos' influence is felt in various aspects of Egyptian life, from military tactics to agricultural practices. Yet, despite their contributions, the Egyptians yearn for their lost sovereignty. But the Egyptians never give up hope of regaining their independence. Secretly, they begin to organize and plan their resistance. The southern city of Thebes becomes a focal point for this burgeoning rebellion. Finally, in the 16th century BC, the Egyptians drive out the Hyksos. Under the leadership of Amosedan, the Egyptians launch a series of successful campaigns that push the Hyksos out of Egypt. This victory marks the beginning of a new era. A new era dawns, the New Kingdom. This period is characterized by unprecedented prosperity and cultural flourishing. The pharaohs of the New Kingdom are determined to restore Egypt to its former glory and beyond. This is Egypt's most powerful and expansive period. The New Kingdom sees the construction of magnificent temples, the expansion of trade networks, and the establishment of Egypt as a dominant military power in the ancient world. Pharaohs like Thutmose III and Rameses II forge a mighty empire. Thutmose III is often called the Napoleon of Egypt for his military genius, while Rameses II is known for his monumental building projects and long reign. The New Kingdom is a time of military conquest, grand monuments, and cultural brilliance. The pharaohs commission vast building projects, including the temples at Karnak and Luxor, which stand as testaments to their power and devotion to the gods. Egypt controls a vast territory, stretching from Nubia in the south to Syria in the north. This extensive empire brings wealth and resources into Egypt, further fueling its golden age. This is the golden age of the pharaohs. The New Kingdom leaves an indelible mark on history, with its achievements in art, architecture, and governance influencing civilizations for millennia to come. Section 5. Pharaohs of Power, Akhenaten to Cleopatra. This section delves into the lives and legacies of some of the most influential rulers in ancient Egyptian history, spanning from the revolutionary Akhenaten to the enigmatic Cleopatra. The New Kingdom sees the rise of some of Egypt's most famous pharaohs. This era, often considered the pinnacle of ancient Egyptian civilization, is marked by unprecedented wealth, power, and cultural achievements. Akhenaten, a radical ruler, tries to overturn centuries of tradition. His reign is characterized by a dramatic shift in religious practices, as he promotes the worship of a single god, Aten, the sun disk. He promotes the worship of a single god, Aten, the sun disk. This monotheistic approach is a stark departure from the polytheistic beliefs that had dominated Egypt for millennia, leading to significant social and political upheaval. Tutankhamun, Akhenaten's son, becomes famous for his lavish tomb, discovered intact in 1922. Despite his short reign, the discovery of his nearly untouched tomb by Howard Carter brings him worldwide fame and provides invaluable insights into ancient Egyptian burial practices and artistry. Rameses II, known as Rameses the Great, is a mighty warrior and builder. His reign is marked by numerous military campaigns and the construction of monumental structures, including the famous Abu Simbel temples. His reign marks the peak of Egyptian power. Under his rule, Egypt reaches new heights of territorial expansion, economic prosperity, and architectural grandeur, solidifying his legacy as one of the greatest pharaohs in history. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt, reigns centuries later. Her intelligence, charisma, and political acumen make her one of the most fascinating figures in ancient history. She is a shrewd politician and diplomat. Cleopatra's ability to navigate the complex political landscape of her time, forging alliances with powerful Roman leaders like Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, showcases her strategic brilliance. Cleopatra tries to preserve her kingdom against the rising power of Rome. Her efforts to maintain Egypt's independence amidst the growing influence of Rome highlight her determination and resilience. Her story, full of intrigue and tragedy, marks the end of an era. Cleopatra's dramatic life and tragic death symbolize the end of ancient Egypt's long and storied history as the country becomes a province of the Roman Empire. Section 6. The Nile's embraced lifeline of a civilization. No other river is so closely intertwined with a civilization's fate. The Nile is Egypt's lifeblood. It provides water for crops, transportation, and even the mud used to make bricks. Each year the Nile floods, depositing rich silt that fertilizes the land. The Egyptians base their calendar on the Nile's floods. They develop sophisticated irrigation systems to manage the river's waters. The Nile shapes their lives, their beliefs, and their very existence. Even today, the Nile remains crucial to Egypt. It's a reminder of the enduring connection between humanity and the natural world. Section 7. Monuments to eternity, pyramids and temples. The pyramids are perhaps Egypt's most iconic monuments, but they are just one part of a rich architectural legacy. Temples dedicated to the gods are another testament to Egyptian ingenuity. Karnak, Luxor and Abu Simbel are just a few examples of these awe-inspiring structures. They are filled with massive columns, intricate carvings and towering statues. These temples are not just places of worship, they are also centers of learning, commerce and social life. These monuments reflect the Egyptians' deep spirituality and their desire to connect with the divine. They are a legacy that continues to inspire wonder and awe thousands of years later.